Hi guys, welcome back. Today's video's topic is Docker. So in this particular video, we will see like how to use Docker and what is Docker is and why we are using Docker, and a lot of things related to Docker, like what is Docker engine is, like what is image and containers. Okay, these are the topic which will be discussed in this video. Okay, and we will do a practical implementation as we are doing in our all video. Okay, and at last we will make an image of our Spring Boot application, and we will make a container and we will try to run it. Okay, this is a purpose of agenda of this whole video. Okay, so we will try to finish this Docker in this one video. So without wasting time, let's start this. What is a Docker is? Okay, so like if you talk about what is a Docker is, in layman terms, like if you know, like for putting so many thing in one container, right? Like if you saw like train containers, if you put like something in that, and it will really easy to be transferred from one place to another place, right? So Docker also work on the same terminology like container. Okay, like if you read here, Docker is an open source containerization technology, right? So this is a like bookish language like Docker. Especially what happened, like when we talk about like Docker, we are not talking about like only thing, we are not talking about one thing, we are talking about Docker ecosystem here. So if I show you what is a Docker ecosystem is, just wait for this image. Yeah, we are talking here about Docker ecosystem, right? Like just a minute. Yeah, here we discuss about like Docker ecosystem. When someone talk about Docker, so it's not talking about only one thing. There are a lot of things in Docker ecosystem, like this whole thing, like ecosystem, like client, what is a client, Docker server, Docker image, Docker machine, hub, and compose. In this particular video, we will discuss as a client, server, image, hub, and containers. Okay, when someone say about Docker, actually it is talking about, like he or she is talking about an ecosystem. So I hope you got an idea like what is a Docker is. Okay, so now let's move forward and understand like how many ways we can install it. So I hope now it's visible for you, and the most important question, why we are using it. All right, for starting anything, my way of understanding is first get to know like why we are using it and how many problem it will be solved in your real world, then you can move forward to it. Okay, so why we are using it, the main problem is like suppose a scenario, you join a one new project, right, in your company. So what they will do, they will try to set up all the project for you, right? Suppose you are using a database like Postgres database you are using in your project, then you have to add a dependency for it, right? And like you are using if you consider an example, if you are using a Gradle, right, in your project, then you have to consider like you have to put a dependency of that also, right? So there are so many things, right? So you have to set up when you are working in a project and you join a new as a new developer. So there are a lot of things you have to configure, and it will take like 1 or 2 days. I also remember when I join a project, it take a 2 days to me to set up everything, right? Because sometimes it happens like everything is not goes well, so you have to take a help, and like that it is gone. Okay, so suppose you have installed everything, and another day after 5 days, one new developer came, right? He joined your project, then for same project you have to configure for that person also. So this is a problem with real world, so what we are facing right now. So Docker, what Docker does, Docker solve this problem. It says just configure once and make an image of that particular, okay, and just push into the GitHub Docker hub, and that image you can give to your anyone, and they will execute, or they will whatever they want to do, and they will execute that particular container. They will make container and execute that. I know like might be possible right now, it's not you get you completely, but when we discuss all these things in a video, you will get clear picture for sure. Okay, so just wait for a 5 to 10 minutes, after that you will get a clear idea. Okay, Now we will move to the like how when we start a Docker, then there's a two things. Either you can go with like first option. If it is like if we talk about installation, there are two ways of installation. Like either you have a VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox, or any. Okay, and or you can go directly to the Docker for Windows. Internally these two are same. Okay, yeah, no, nothing difference. In this Docker Windows, actually you are not installing a Docker for Windows, you are installing a Linux virtual system. Okay, it has own kernel, and it will use your system configurations. Okay, it will use your system memory, RAM, and everything. And here in first Oracle VirtualBox, I go with this because I already have this in my system here when I taught you the Unix. So if you don't know how to install it, so you can go particular this video and check out like how to install that Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, because in this video I especially talk about like Oracle installation. Okay, so now what is the second thing? You already have this Oracle VirtualBox. It's just pretty simple thing like installation, like VLC player, right? Nothing fancy here. So come to the Google and type here download Docker Toolbox. Let me keep it side. Yeah, not download. Yeah, download Toolbox for Windows 8. Okay, and come to the just third link, and it will give you the GitHub repository link. So come down here. This is a GitHub repository link. Okay, and from here just try to download this executable file, exe. Okay, whatever it is. I am canceling it because I already have. Okay, because if you download it, you will get like this something. Okay, and just no need to do anything. This is a pretty intelligent software. Just try double click here and it will give you the two shortcuts like this, these two. Okay, and when you get these two softwares, like these two shortcuts, just click on this and it will give you the terminal. Inside this it is using git by default, sorry, git bash by default. So when you are just using this first time, it will take time as it taking in for me. So just sit back and relax. It will take 2 to 3 minutes to set up Docker. Okay, so yeah, when you running it first time, it will take time. Okay, so it might be take 5 minutes also. So meanwhile it's taking time, so let me tell you few more things. Okay, here we saw like how to install and what is a Docker is, like especially Docker talk about containers and all. We will talk about a container, particular container in detailed manner. Okay, for sure. I promised you after watching this video you don't need to ask someone what is images and what is a container it is. Okay, so we talk about what is a Docker engine is. Okay, so here the term is like Docker engine. Okay, so when we talk about Docker engine, so let me show you the architecture of Docker first. Yeah, this is a a diagram for Docker engine. When we talk about Docker engine, we particularly not talk about anything. We include two things here, like Docker server, we can say daemon. If you when I say listen the word daemon, I just got into the Java like JVM thread. Okay, just leave that. Yeah, client, Docker CLI, and Docker server, these two when they combine it's become a server. Oh, sorry, Docker engine. So now the term is Docker architecture, whole this thing. Okay, let me tell you how they interact and what is a thing. For now just leave these two things. Which one? This container and image. Okay, forget about these two things for now, these. Okay, this is our client, which the two software which we got, right? And I click on this this one. Okay, so this is a client, nothing here. This is a client, and it you are typing some command, you are firing some command on it, and will take your command and will go to the server and say I need this thing, and server will give the particular response. Okay, as you work always like your browser and your some website are working, right? If you want to download some song, you will just try to hit enter there, or it will give you the song, right? This is a request and response. So this request and response, how they happen in term of REST APIs. Okay, because they follow the REST architecture. That's why it's a REST API. We will not go deep about it because this is not topic of this video. Okay, so they follow the REST API here to just communicate to each other, like this CLI and Docker. So this is a pretty important thing, like how they are communicate. So I just include in this topic. Okay, now if I see it got installed, yeah, when you just give the some time, it will become like this and your Docker is ready. Now the thing is, what is the image is and what is the Docker hub is. So let me tell you about first Docker hub, then we start image and container. So when you go to the Google and you say Docker hub, if you worked with Maven, right, if you are worked with Maven, you can you have an idea what is a Maven repository is, right? So as Maven repository, they have a lot of dependency for particular projects, like particular things like JPA, MySQL or anything. Like they have lot of dependency, like which you can pull into your project. So as when you work with a Docker hub, the similar thing you can take it here. This is like a Maven repository only. In Maven repository, you have like dependencies, and here you have an image. Okay, if you search here Java, okay, Java, then you will get the Open JDK. Okay, this Java is deprecated. Okay, and this Open JDK and Tomcat, Ghost. There's a lot of things here, like you can JT. This is a like server, you know, like Tomcat is a server only. Okay, I think so. Now there are a lot of things. So these are the images which you can just pull into your project and make a container and you can run it. Okay, yeah, just a second. Yeah, so we are discussing about these all the images. So now you get an idea what is this. Okay, so now we can talk in detail what is the images and how we are using it. Okay, so this is a bookish understanding like language. So just if you want to learn read this, you can read, but as my understanding what is an image is a just like a snapshot of file system, like file system snapshot and a startup command. If I show you practically, like if you wanna take a image of Chrome, like suppose you can say here Chrome, okay, browser, less Chrome, we don't have anything here. Let me search for something else. Head shells, no, we don't have anything. But if I say MySQL, we will have, I think so. Yeah, this is an image of MySQL. Okay, so suppose you wanna define this image. So what is the image is where that goes. Okay, we don't have. Okay, let me open this. Yeah, leave. So what is the image is, as we discussed, like file system snapshot and startup command. Okay, so if you see here, like as we not found Chrome, so if I say like MySQL here, okay, so if you want to download like MySQL, then the command will change here, right? Like run command, like MySQL. Okay, so what is the image here, as we discussed, like file system snapshot and startup command. Okay, as we see here, like we got a here like MySQL in hub. Let me open that hub again, Docker hub. Yeah, Docker hub, and we got a MySQL terminology, right? So as I search here like MySQL, right, we got a MySQL image. So as I make you if I want to make you understand what the image is, you can consider it like a file system snapshot with MySQL, like a snapshot, like a configuration which need to run a program. Okay, and this is a startup command. Okay, run MySQL, that's all. It's just an image. Okay, like this, nothing. And what is a container is, let me make you understand with the help of another diagram here. Okay, these is a clear picture what is a container is. Like it is an instance of an image container, and image is just a single file with all dependencies and configuration required to run a program. Simple. I hope now you understand what the image is and what is a container is. Just set of set of files, like file system snapshot plus run command. Like when you say like docker run, that command should be attached with that. Okay, and docker is up and running. Sorry, container is up and running. So it's about image and container. So let's see practically what is all about docker and like docker container and image. So let's see here. And I want to tell you, like, docker containers works on a particular terminology. And what's the depth terminology is namespacing and control groups. So we will discuss about it, how they works. And first I will show you the first command. Okay, so we will say docker run hello world. Okay, so if you see here, it is a docker and hello world. Okay, if I show you syntax of this, where it is, yeah, if you can able to see here, this particular thing here, docker, and after run, okay, and image name, this one. Okay, so what does it mean? Like, this is a reference of docker client, and this is a name of image use for a container. Like, so as I show you in a diagram, container will use that image, right? To like container will only it will made up of use of image only, right? So this is an image name. For this only the container will create and try to create run a container. This is a command which like run equals to, like, if you can say here, what is the mean of run here? So you can say run equals to create plus start. This is a run. It is mean by run. Okay. We will see and how do we create and how to start also. So just come outside and now just do a practical implementation for it. We say hello world, run hello world. Okay, if you see here, when you just try to execute this command first time, okay, so let me make it large, and why it's taking time, I don't know. Okay, yeah, it says like hello from docker. I think it is available in my cache, that's why. Okay, let me show you another command. Hello, not hello, docker run radish. Okay, if you see here, when I run this docker run radish, it says unable to found image because it doesn't have image in my local system. Look, what does mean by local? It mean by like cache. When I make you understand like whole working of this like command, how it work and how the like container will up and running, you will get to understand. Just let I make you understand, like when you just push this command first time, then only this error will came, not error, this message will came, unable to found image radish latest and locally. After when you just execute this command second time, you will not have any this kind of message, as I already have this in my system in image, so I don't have this particular message here, and like directly I have this thing. Okay, so when you execute this command at first time, it will always ask you, always give you a message like I don't found it locally and I'm going to found in a server. Okay, so give it a time, it will take time and it will execute that redis container. So come out and yeah, as you see, it's taking time and it's getting downloaded all thing, like it pulling like few things here, and it is a like ID of it and pulling from library radish, right? Don't worry about look what is a radish is. Okay, and it's not a like it's an image, and if you see here what is a radish is, you can search here. We have this image, right? It's getting pulled over there. Okay, so now when I want to come to the my container, it's come out and it will say like ready to accept connection. Okay, it is running. Okay, ready to accept. Now what do you think, if I run this particular command second time, the same thing, it will take time, right? It will not take this much time, it will directly say ready to accept a connection and come out. Let me come out from there, like control C once and just come out. I'm waiting for you. Yeah, but it's not coming out. Control C, control D, whatever it is. Yeah, it's taking time unnecessary. Sorry for that. Yeah, it directly come out from the terminal. Okay, okay, I just press a lot of time, control C. So okay, I will open again, so it will not take time when I execute it at a second time. So see here, when you start the docker and you say docker run Redis, okay, as you see here, it doesn't take time at a second, right? It directly come out. So it directly not give a message that it does not come a locally or whatever. Okay, it directly say ready to accept a connection. This is a magic of docker, right? Okay, now what we have to do, now we will play with some other commands and we will try to understand what whole this thing is, docker and all. Okay, let me give you the brief idea about like how it's work and how it is. So let me open one image, how it's working, then you will get a clear picture like what is a docker and image and all. So if you see here, like I just show you the two commands, right? Docker run Redis and docker hello world. Okay, if you run any command here, like any image name here, any like xxx any, but it should be available in docker hub, right? Any xxyy whatever it is. Okay, so if you come, if you run this command, okay, docker run an image name here, it will, like command will run in a docker client, right? And it will, first time it will not go to the docker server, it will go to your image cache. It will search, is there anything available in your image cache? It's in your system only. But as you see there, like first line says, I don't found anything in your docker, that's why I'm going to server. So if it doesn't found anything to the cache, it will go to the server. Okay, give me that particular image, and server will go to the docker hub. It will get this hello world image, and when it found that hello world into the docker hub, it will put first that into the image cache image, because when I just fire this command at a second time, I don't get that message, right? Like that message, I'm not found this image as locally. So like suppose this is a first execution, right? Now second time you are executing this command, so directly it goes to the image and it will take to you like this. Okay, got it? How it's work and what is a proper functioning, right? It's easy and not that complicated. So now just come out and could you please turn off? Yeah, okay. Now if I run this like docker run hello world, world, if you see here, this is the hello word image. Okay, this is responsible for just printing these all messages here, nothing else. So the one concept come here, if you see, if you don't have idea kernel and how they interact, we will talk about it. Okay, and we also talk about namespacing and all. So now we discussed like this command, right? So as you know, like we are executing all these commands like with docker and run and images, right? We'll talk about options little bit later. And run the images, why these all things we run with the docker, like in when we are working with a git bash, we are using a git there, right? And here like docker. So okay, what happened when you configure that docker inside that configuration, what it does, it put this docker group name under the sudo. What is a sudo in Unix and Linux? It is a super user. So that's why you are running all these commands with the docker, like as you running all command in git bash with the git, right? So pretty simple as that. So before moving this further, like command override, let me remove this. Yeah, command override concept, I want to make you understand how this docker terminology working with namespacing and what is a control group also. Okay, so I want to show you some diagram here. What is the namespacing and what is a control group? If you can see here, namespacing. In namespacing, what we are doing, we just isolate the resources. What do you mean by resources? Your network, your hard drive, and your processors, that CPU and all. These are the your that hardware component. Like, okay, these called resources. So in this particular terminology, like namespacing, we are isolate, like we are making a segment of your hard disk. Okay, just understand this. In namespacing, we are making a segment, and control group, we are limiting a resources. Like for we limit a particular process, you can use this particular amount of resource. So this is a basic difference in it. Now we talk about namespacing in detail. Why? Because all containers work in a with this technology, namespacing. So as you can see here, this is a basic flow of your system. Like this is my system, right? If I'm using Chrome here, and I'm using terminal, and I'm using Node.js, and I'm using Notepad, this is a particular system, okay, as you also used in day-to-day life. So how the system is interacting with your hardware component like CPU, memory, and hard disk, all these with the help of kernel. And if you don't have an idea of kernel, go to my channel, and there is a particular video on kernel only, like how they work and how it is work. So if you don't have an idea, I will tell you here. The responsibilities of kernel is to execute the command and allocate the memory, okay, to the process. Okay, if you don't have this, I have just written in a document here, and I will attach this in the description. Okay, you can download it from there. So it is a responsible for executing a command. It is responsible for interacting with the hardware component, and memory allocation and process allocation. This is a responsibilities of kernel. So if you see here, like suppose you have these processes, okay, you have these processes. Chrome want to interact with your memory, or like Notepad want to write something in your hard disk or somewhere. Okay, if Notepad request, the request will come in form of system call, and it come to the kernel. Okay, now what happened, kernel will see, okay, request is coming, and it will allocate all the hardware component. Okay, now this is a particular flow. Now I want to I want you to just consider one scenario. This is a hypothetical scenario, okay, so just consider it. Don't have any question, just consider it. This is a scenario, okay. You have two process, one is A and one is B, and it want to use a Java 7 and it want to use a Java 8, okay, particular. And here in hard disk you already install a Java 7, okay, you don't have like Java 8. So what happened when this Java like for this one process A will call, like make a system call and come to the kernel, and kernel will found, okay, this process want to use this particular Java 8, right? Now this process will run completely fine. Suppose in case this process B want to make a call come to the kernel, and it will come to the hard disk and found where is the Java 8. This will not run, right? Like because we don't have Java 8. Okay, if I installed also, then we can use a one at a time. So what is a like solution of this problem? How can I use this Java 8 and Java 7 at a time? This is a hypothetical scenario, okay. Now when this problem is there, and yeah, these two terminology come in a picture, namespacing and control group, and these both terminology related to the Linux only, not Windows. So as I say, these two terminology related to the Linux, like namespacing and control group, and yeah, and container dependent on Linux only, right? Now the concept which we can compare, like these two terminology related to the Linux, and container is working with the namespacing, then how we use this Docker in my Windows, I will let you know. Okay, just wait for a few minutes. Now we will discuss it namespacing. Suppose again you have this processes, okay. In this namespacing, what we will do, like we will install like Java 8 or 7, and we will make a segment of your hard disk. Okay, it will make a segment or part of your hard disk and assign to Java 7, and part of your hard disk and assign this to Java 8. Okay, this is a terminology which we call namespacing, this one. Okay, now come here, when the process A will make a call, come to the kernel, and kernel will see like which process is calling. Okay, and like suppose A is calling, it will interact to the particular segment, not full hard disk. Okay, now suppose B is calling and it will interact to the particular segment. This whole terminology is a, just a second, yeah, I want to pick this call. So now I hope you have a complete picture in your mind, like how the container is work and what the namespacing is. Okay, so now when I execute this command, we got this. Okay, and we say like this is an image and we are running it with the help of this Docker run. If I show you the bit technical picture what is a container is, so we saw here, right, it's work on namespacing. So this is our container. Leave this as like we are using a like Chrome, but it doesn't have a Chrome image, so let me put for you la MySQL. Okay, so come here, it's just like an image here. Okay, like a container. For this is a particular memory of your that disk, and it is using CPU, hard disk, and RAM and network, and this is a kernel. With the help of kernel, it allowing you to like taking a interact with the segment. Okay, because what is a container is? Container is a isolate thing. Okay, it will run help of the image. Okay, and it will just get in your memory in your hard disk, like some space. Okay, yeah. Now come to the next topic, how it's working, namespacing. And the first thing, now the thing come in a picture. I told you like namespacing and control, this is related to like terminology of this Linux. Then how it work in a, the question came how it's work in a Windows. So okay, for make you understand this, this is when you install that Docker for Windows, you are not installing a Docker for Windows, you are installing this Linux virtual machine. Inside that it has own kernel, and in with that like it you have these containers, okay, and it will use your system here, it will use your computer, and this is your Mac OS. Got it, like what I'm trying to say? Okay, now yeah, this we see already, and Docker version, yeah. Okay, let me show you one thing here. When I say Docker version, as you know my system is a Windows system, right? Here what is it coming here, if you can see this Linux and AMD 64. Why? Because it is running with the help of VirtualBox. If you try to just go and try go with second option like Docker for Windows, then also it is coming like this only, because internally you are installing Linux virtual machine, so it will come Linux only in every cases. Okay, because this machine, this Docker is running on Linux, because it's running on my VirtualBox, and VirtualBox is running on my Windows system, so that VirtualBox is hosted on my like Windows machine. Okay, you will get it when you try to execute by your own. It's bit tricky thing here. Okay, because this is my Windows. Okay, this is my Windows, and this virtual machine is running here, and on this virtual machine the Docker is running. Got it? Yeah. Now the second topic is override command. What is an override command? Like we can attach that command into the container, like with container. Like suppose I am running this Docker hello world, or Docker we can say here echo. This is not possible. I will let you know why it's not possible. And there is a one more image like BusyBox. Okay, if you search this in Docker Hub, we will found it, Radish, and here BusyBox. Yeah, this is a BusyBox. And what is a BusyBox? You can go and search on Google. Okay, this is not topic of this video. Okay, yeah, BusyBox. This is also image. So let me try to execute this Docker run BusyBox. Okay, we don't have anything inside it. When I say docker busybox echo and hi there, okay, it say hi there. Why we don't get anything? Because understand, there are some process which you just fire a query or fire a command from here, it will run, it will come in a ready state or run state, and as soon as in a second only it will come in a dead state or exit state. Okay, these are the process which come in run and exit in a 1 second. That's why we don't get anything. And okay, if I show you like what is the override command, this is only when I just type here echo there, it's mean like you are overriding a run command. Like here is a run busybox and you are just attaching the something here echo there. So nothing complicated here. And why this commands override thing is not work with run hello world, because I will let you know. If you say docker run hello world echo, it will throw an error for definitely. See, it will giving an error. Okay, let me copy this error message. What is it? Okay, and come down here. What is saying? Like C program file docker, this is a location. Okay, error response from daemon, because what is a daemon? Server. Okay, as we discussed, what is the daemon? It is a server, like okay, it is try to interact docker hub. Okay, and OCI runtime create, okay, failed container Linux, because I told you like all these terminology depend on Linux. I will make you understand each and every line here. Okay, starting container process caused execution, like exe, this is a command, and echo executable file not found in a path. Got it? It's saying we don't have any path, any file, or we say echo. When I'm if you remember, when we discussing file system in here somewhere, we discuss this file system, right? And we discuss all the Linux command which we are executing, like ls, ps, or echo, or touch, whatever, make mkdir, it's available in file system directory in one folder. If you remember, if you don't remember, just go through that video, you will get to know what this error is. Okay, it says like echo is not command present in this particular container. Okay, and let me execute the same thing with the docker busybox echo there. So it's like result is coming hi there. Why? If you see here, if I say docker ls, no sorry, docker run busybox ls, so these are the directories, these are the directories which I am trying to make you understand. These are the directory file system. So busybox is having that file system snapshot, this image having file system snapshot, where it has a directories like etc, home, prod, root, on all. So if you know, when we discuss this in Linux, the binary executable file present in the, like all command binary executable file present in bin, like this bin directory, and all the root related things is come in a root, and system and temp related thing user are in this, right? So that's why this echo command present in this one of these directory. Okay, that's why it's execute with this image. I hope you get an idea like why it's executing in busybox and why it's not executing in hello world. So this which I written here is clear, I think so. Why it's possible, not possible, and possible here. Okay, yeah, this is over. Now it's term of docker ps command. What is a ps in Unix? It's show you the all the running yeah, all the running processes. Okay, if just talk about the current session only, like which are running. So if I show you here like ps docker ps, it will not show you anything, or it show you something. Okay, yeah, something is running. Let me show you what is running. Redis is running and this is running. So let me close all this first. Docker system prune, yeah, I want to close this all. Yeah, now again show me docker ps, again they are running, docker prune, yeah, total recall, it will get over it from, like, it will take some time and it will go on. Okay, yeah, because we don't have anything. Are you sure? Total reclaimed, yeah, they will go from here. Now this is a command to remove all the containers which are running in background, or which are in pause state or stop state. Okay, now if I say docker ps, again we have, okay, let me show why it's running. Yeah, as I told you, it will take some time and all the process will go on. Okay, so when I say here docker, okay, just leave here. If I say docker ps, we don't have anything. Like, this is a thing like a table, like a container id, image, command created, and status, ports, and names. Okay, so we don't have anything under it, so that's why now any process is not running. If you face anything like I'm facing here, like why it's not going, so I run one command like docker kill, and it will kill all the processes. Okay, so okay, I will make you understand what is that command also. So for now the topic is ps command. So for making you understand, I just remove all these processes. Okay, so docker ps, we don't have anything, but when I say docker ps hyphen hyphen all, so we will get it, right? These are the all the processes, right, which we are running. And suppose I will say like docker run hello world, or docker run busybox, and we will say echo hello there. It's coming now. If I say docker all, if you see here busybox hello there name, right? And yeah, it's coming. Like, we execute this redis 2 time and busybox, it is coming here. Okay, if you run the same thing like busybox ls, if you say like here instead of echo you say ls, it show you this all the directories and it will come here. If I run this command docker ps all, this coming ls, right? So what the topic is, yeah, we talk about docker ps all. And note, if container is running, ps command will not show anything, it's like empty table. And how to use ps, docker run busybox. Okay, it's showing like how to use ps also, like running, how to use ps, because if something is running continuously you want to show that. Okay, let me make you understand this also. Suppose you want to ping at a google sometime, like, okay, I will copy this and paste this here, insert. Okay, let me type only, wait, or I have copied, no, docker run busybox. Okay, and I will open other terminal also here. Yeah, till it is opening. Yeah, docker busybox, and you want to ping at a google for after some particular second, google.com. okay, it will, what this command will do, after particular amount of time like 36 or some second, it will continuously ping to the google. So let me come here and now see docker ps. Now this is up and running, right? So the ps command will show you the process which is running only. So as you see, this one is running in background, so that's why it's showing here. So let me close this and stop this one. Okay, now if you do docker ps, okay, it shows like ping is still running. So if you want to kill it, we will see that. Okay, because I haven't, like, what I do, I just stop this terminal result, because while doing a control C, I not stop this container. So make sure this container is consuming your hard disk, your memory. So when you are not want to this work with the containers and all, you will kill all the this process or containers. Now what is a life cycle? Like when we do like container run, as I told you, it's like container create and container it's been a container create and container start, right? It's all about this. The container create equals to start and create and start, run equals to create and start. Okay, so let me first do one thing. I want to kill this because it's consuming a memory. Kill, or I will make you understand what is the meaning of kill and stop also. I hope it's kill now. Yeah, as you look here, we don't have anything. Here we have this. Okay, now what the next thing is, like I don't want to use this run. I want to use this create and start. So suppose I want to create a container with hello world image. So if I will say docker create, okay, create hello world. Okay, if you see here, you will get this some id type of thing. Okay, and nothing else. If you say okay docker create, and after it the container is ready, no problem, the container is ready. Okay, if you say docker start, okay, and hyphen a and this particular id, because we need this. Yeah, copy, and if you want to insert something here, just say function and insert. Okay, and you get this all result, right? Because your container is run. Okay, suppose if I don't run this with the, if I run this, okay, let me make this container run here. As you know, we run this with hyphen. Okay, we start this. So here I will start this container start hyphen a, and this I need which one? Yeah, that particular id. Okay, this is a with hyphen a, and suppose I don't want to start with hyphen a, then what is the problem with it? Let's see. We got only this id again, right? So what is the meaning of this hyphen a here? Nothing. Whatever is coming out, the output from your terminal, it output for your this container, it will attach to the terminal. This output is coming from your this container, right? So it, this hyphen a attached it to your terminal. Okay, so why it's using, the question is solved. Now restart a stop containers. As you come here and you will say docker ps hyphen hyphen all, these all the containers is stopped in a stopped state, right? Because if I say docker ps, I don't have anything, it means it is in stopped state. So I want to restart it. So how to restart? Like as a topic, I want to restart it. So nothing, whatever the output is coming, you have to attach, and you just mention an id. So you can say here docker start hyphen a, and for this, what is the output is like hello world, the output is hello. I want to use this one, echo there. Echo there means like output will be hello there, like okay, this echo hello there, the output will be hello there. So I want to use this one, so I will copy this id and I will paste here, insert here. Yeah, as you see, output is here. As it's the hello command, it will just print output and it will go to the again to the dead state, sorry, stopped state. If I show you like docker ps, we don't have anything, but if I show you docker ps hyphen hyphen all, so if you can see here, this command is executed hello world and created 2 minutes ago, and status executed above in like few minutes ago, right? You can see. Yeah, okay, now come to the second thing, it's removing a stopped container. As we talked it, how can we remove these all containers? So there is a command docker system prune. If you say this, it will ask you like all container, like warning, this will remove all containers, network not used, or at least one container, and drizzling image and dangling build cache, all these like formalities. So if you want to do this, yeah, all these ids whichever this container is coded is removed, and will say like, now if you say docker ps hyphen hyphen all, you don't have anything, and you say docker ps, you don't have anything because you run this command. Okay, what is docker? Okay, docker ps, yeah, you don't have anything. And for docker ps all also, you don't have anything, you don't have any process, all process gone. Now stopping container, like retrieving a log output. Suppose you don't want to use this a1, then you want to use a particular you want to take a log from your that container. So let me create a one container like docker run, I will say busybox, okay, and override echo hi there. Okay, it will say hi there. Now if I do that docker ps hyphen hyphen all, so I have this one and I have id, so I want to take a log of this container. So docker, simple command, docker log id. So just go and say docker log, and I have this id, copy, insert. Yeah, you can see here what is docker is not a docker command. Okay, how it's possible? Docker log is not a docker command. How it's possible? Okay, let me try. I have made a mistake, something. Yeah, it's a docker, not docker log. Sorry, it's my typo. Okay, so just docker logs, it's docker log, so it will come here and will say. Okay, yeah. Now what is a topic here, like stopping a container and all. Okay, so just a second. Okay, yeah, so stopping a container, as we see, we have a two command like stop and kill. So what is the difference between it? I have something for you. Busybox getting a container, I think I haven't created that. Yeah, let me see here. We have either make you understand. Okay, yeah, leave it. Yeah, what is the mean of stop and what is the mean of kill? Okay, in term of stop, when you say docker stop, as you see here, when you say docker, okay, docker stop and your particular id, this one, and it will get a stop. Okay, and now when you say docker ps hyphen hyphen all, okay, yeah, echo there, like particular, for this particular we are just trying to stop, it is not a stop. Okay, now in this case what happened, when we say docker stop, one like sig term signal will go. Okay, and it will say to the processor, like, so sorry, process, if you want to do some cleanup activity, you can do and just stop yourself, okay, by your own. And the meaning of kill is, no matter what you are doing, just shut down yourself immediately. This is a difference between stop and kill, nothing fancy here. Okay, yeah, so let me show you. When I execute this stop, and there's a one more catch here, if some process is want to run infinite time, and when you just say stop, it will not stop itself, then this command is like wait till 10 seconds. After that, automatically the kill command will execute. Okay, now see, let me show you. If we have something, why I'm writing again this spelling, docker, and we say docker ps hyphen hyphen all, we have this one. So I will say docker kill. Okay, just copy this one and paste here. Error response from daemon cannot kill container contain this is not running. Okay, it's not running, then why are you showing here? Okay, so we will say docker ps hyphen hyphen all. Okay, we not kill this, it's not running. Yeah, it's take time to remove this, so that's why I pause video and start again. What happened here, this container is not running when I'm trying to kill it. it says it's not running, so I removed it from the cache only. So what happened, what I am doing here, when I trying to kill it, it says like container is not running and all. Okay, so what I have done here, I use this command docker rm. If you remember, this command is remove something, right? A remove directory and folder in Linux. So in Docker it is like rm, and I want to remove this container, and it got removed. For as you see, I execute this ps and ps all. Okay, so now the difference between stop and kill is clear. Note, if some command will not listen stop, and the signal after like signal, then 10 second automatically will kill will execute. Now execute command inside a container. Okay, if you want to inside a command command inside a container, then we will use this like as Redis is running, right? And we will say like exec command and id command to particular id, and we will say Redis CLI. So let me create a one container here for Redis. If I say docker run Redis, okay, it will running. And let me open something here. Let me open second. Okay, now this one. Okay, now if you see here, okay, yeah, I said docker, okay, and exec id. Why I am using the -id, I will let you know. Actually we can use this like -i-t also, but as together we can use. And first, before using this, I want to use docker ps, because I need to take this Redis id. Okay, so copy and docker I want to say here exec -it, and what is the id? Okay, what is docker option it? Okay, yeah, I don't mention an image name, sorry. Redis CLI, it will execute, right? Now what is the it is, it will say like here I will make it large. All the command will execute inside this CLI now. So set my key, set my value 5. Okay, now I will say get my value. Okay, as I said here like 5 my value, and I say get my value, it's 5. This all thing is working inside Redis CLI because this container is up and running. If I want to stop this, I will say Control D, I will come out and I will check like docker ps, this is up and running. And how can I stop this? I say docker kill or stop, whatever you want to do. Command not find because I again mistake, silly mistake, docker. And now you can say docker ps, you don't have anything. Okay, so this is a way how we can execute. So how this it flag is work, because in each and every command in Linux we have a 3 standard channels. That is in here what is I means, I want to attach what does I mean, like if you want to attach our input to the std in channel. So each and every process in this Linux we have this std in, std out and std error, standard in and standard out and standard error, these 3 channels. So with the help of I, we can attach our input to the input, and output will come to the terminal, and text is just for formatting, nothing. Okay, if I want to execute a cell, just say this sec command it and you will get a cell inside it, no problem. Okay, Shall I show you this also, or if you want to get a shell with Docker, you can get this. So let me show you this shell one also, no problem. Okay, then we will move forward how to make our application containerized. So let me make this so we can see the result. Okay, so Docker, yeah, a Docker exec it, and what is a okay, first I will see we have process or not. Process hyphen all, we have this Radish. Okay, yeah, I will copy this and I will first, what I will do, I will start this. So Docker start okay, and insert Radish CLI. What it is saying, no such container Radish CLI. Okay, so I will say Docker run Radish. Now it is running. Okay, so go to the second terminal and we'll say Docker, okay, and just minimize this, and exec it, and yeah, what is the first Docker ps, yeah, we have up and running 20 seconds ago, this one. So I will take this and we'll say Docker -id, and we will paste it here, and under this I want a sh, yani I want a shell. Now shell is coming, whatever you want to do you can do it. Okay, so like I want to make a directory or something, you can do it. Like I want to say echo hhh, it will come hhh. So this is a shell. I just want to come out, then use a control D. Okay, now create a Docker image. Like there is some ways of creating a Docker image. Like one is you have to create a Docker file and you have to mention these 3 steps, like specify base image and run install program, and these are the few things. But what a pretty cool thing which I want to tell you, like one feature introduced in like Spring Boot 2.3, that is called Cloud Native Build Pack. You don't need to do this Docker file system and all. Okay, you just go to your application. Let me show you and open my STS, then I can able to show you. Okay, STS, yeah, it will take time, so I'm pausing a video and I will get back to you when it up. Okay, yeah, now we get this STS. This is a project which I just make. Okay, and nothing I have done here. This is my main class, okay, which is responsible to boot application, and I have not created any controller and all because it's not a part of video. I just want to show you how to create an image and how to make a container, how to run it of a Spring Boot. And this feature introduced in 2.3. I have just found some pretty blogs also on it, so I will attach in a description. You can run the whole thing about this Cloud Native Build Pack. Okay, and make sure you are selecting 2.3. if you don't know, just go here, yeah, and go to Spring Initializer, like spring.io or Spring Initializer, whatever. If you go to the Spring.io also, and okay, let me open it for you. It will say Spring.io and it will say from here like Spring Initializer. Either you click there or Quick Start. It will take to the Spring Quick Start Initializer or something, step 1, whatever you want to do. So just go to the Spring.io or directly you can type Spring Initializer, it will come. So now you can here select to the 2.4. just make sure you are selecting 2.3 or greater than version. Okay, so come here and just, I'm not doing anything, I just make this class. So let me run this application and show you what is the result is. So as you can see, my application is up and running on port which one, 8081, because I have configured here my port. Okay, so no need to worry about that. Yeah, now I want to show you the result, so I will not open any browser, I will run here only. Just a second. Show views. Where is my terminal? Yeah, and I want to open my shell here. It will open. Now where is this? My application is demo, so I will say into the property. Just a second, it will taking a little bit time. Okay, I will go into the properties and I will go where this my project directory is. Okay, I have taken it, so it will open that. Then I will, why I'm doing this, I will let you know. Just a second, I don't want to open a browser, that's why. Okay, so here a lot of things are here. We have demo here. Okay, so I want to take this inside it, and yeah, can you go from here, and I will type a command cd and here insert. Okay, it's not working. Insert bash no such file and directory demo. Why? Cd. Okay, great. Okay, Ashwini, user, you don't have this. I don't know why it's saying. Okay, wait a second. Downloads demo, copy. Now say again. Wow. Yeah, I want to come inside a demo, so I come. Now what is my pwd current working directory? It's nothing, it shows an error. Why it's showing error? Let me cd to the C directory. Copy. Yeah, we got it now. Okay, so now yeah, the problem is here for hyphen, like we are sorry, forward slash and backward slash. So now Edwin manage consider backward slash, it's coming here. Okay, so leave it. Okay, what the error is, do not take about, because our topic is to make a image. So with the help of this, I want to show you something like there's a curl and http colon localhost and 8080 actually. Yeah, and what is the output here? Hello beautiful, because I have put here like hello beautiful and I'm just firing a this URL. Okay, so the result is coming hello beautiful. Okay, now I will close this. I will stop my application and I will make an image and I will start a container. How I can make an image? There is a one command, maven spring boot and build. Okay, I can just copy it here from here and we will paste here and we will run this. When you run this, don't need to do anything. Okay, it just do everything for you and it will give you the image, and that image you can consider and you can run everywhere. So it will take like 1 minute or 2 minutes, it will do everything for you. Or if you want to go with this concept, docker image file, you can go, like no problem with this, you can practice this also. But I found this pretty cool project while learning this. Okay, while this pretty cool technology introduced in spring 2.3, and I found okay, you can do it with one command, then why need to do with this all thing. Okay, so no need to work with this docker file and all. But still, if you want to learn this, I will mention some links, you can go and from there. Okay, or if you want to make one video on this, I will make, just let me know. Okay, yeah, so it will do everything for you, like as you see here, like pulling images and all. When this thing will be completed, right, it will, your image will be like ready. After that you will execute one command and your container will up and running. So wait for some time. Okay, it will create everything. So it will create little bit time, or it will take little bit time. So meanwhile I'm pausing a video and I will get back to you back. Okay, as you can see here, like my build is successful and we get an image as a name like demo snapshot. Okay, so let me run this now image and make a container. Okay, so what is a command? Demo, like docker run, and I want to run it on 8081 because my port number is this, right? And this is an image name, so I will run it. And as you see here, application running. Okay, it is running on port 8081, right? So if I go into the browser and yeah, 8081, let me open new one where it is stuck. So this is a 8081. We will get output like hey beautiful or something. Yeah, hello beautiful. Okay, great. Let me open new one, local host 8081. Yeah, hello beautiful. That's all. It is running. Okay, yeah. This is all about Docker. If you have anything or if you have any great idea, you can comment down. If I had make a mistake in a video, you can comment down. I will try to improve. Okay, so thank you for watching this video, and yeah, thank you so much. Bye bye. I will see you in the next video.